What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about a fast resting heart rate in association with your anxiety or anxiety disorder, okay? If you deal with this symptom, you're not alone. It's very common. I dealt with it and it scared me all the time. But you know what time it is? Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you deal with this symptom. On average, what is your resting heart rate now that you have anxiety? Be a part of this family if you're new here by hitting the subscribe button. I put these videos out all the time to help you with your anxiety. And if you haven't seen a doctor, you need to go do that. This video is not meant to diagnose you. I'm just sharing with you my experiences, my symptoms, what I dealt with, and why anxiety causes it. If you indeed have an anxiety issue or an anxiety disorder, it is your responsibility to go see a doctor, especially when you're dealing with these heart type symptoms, anything going on in your chest pain, fast heart rate, high blood pressure, numbness, tingling. Yes, anxiety does cause that, but you do need to get that initial reassurance. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lot more fear. Your reassurance is not going to be where it needs to be. Your acceptance definitely is not going to be where it needs to be. It took me a few months to even go to a doctor, and by the time I went, the reassurance of them telling me that I was healthy didn't help because I was already so embedded in fear, and I had been telling myself for months that I had something wrong with my heart, so it was hard to convince my subconscious otherwise, even by getting some reassurance. So it took me going back and back and back for more testing, and that drug out for 2.5 years. So if you haven't been to a doctor, you need to go make sure that there actually is nothing wrong with your heart, because some of the things that you need to do to help you with your anxiety and stress involve exercise or things like desensitizing the body, like cold showers or challenging the symptoms. You don't need anything to be wrong with your heart to do those things, okay? So make sure that you get cleared by a doctor. Again, this video is not meant to diagnose you. So if you have been checked out and you've been told that it's anxiety and you're ready to accept, understand that a fast resting heart rate is extremely common with anxiety, especially if you have health anxiety, panic disorder, cardiophobia, otherwise known as like heart anxiety. And of course, I had all of that. I had the overall health anxiety, but I had panic disorder where I was having multiple panic attacks a day. That'll keep your resting heart rate high. I had heart anxiety, so I was already focused on my heart, how fast it was beating at all times of the day, at least whenever I was awake and conscious. I was always worried about my vitals, my blood pressure. I had chest pain all the time. So I was very heart focused. And whenever you start focusing in, you feel everything more so, you feel the palpitations more. You notice very quickly when your heart speeds up even just a little bit. And of course, whenever you start to think about it more and focus on it more, the heart will just get faster and faster and faster, okay? So number wise, I would wake up in the morning in the hardcore part of my heart anxiety, and occasionally there would be a morning where I'd wake up and for about 45 seconds, maybe my heart is in like the low 70s, which whatever, you could still say that that's kind of high for a healthy young person as myself at that time, waking up right after being asleep. But I had anxiety, okay? And anxiety never really sleeps. Your subconscious is active at night. So sometimes you can have nocturnal attacks. Your heart rate could even be high while you're sleeping. So some mornings I would get a little break, okay? But just after a few minutes of my day starting, I had this horrible routine. Don't be like me. Get up and just get into a regular anxiety proactive routine. I would wake up, I'd look for my symptoms. If they weren't there, they'd show up because I was anticipating them. Oh, there's my symptoms. I'd body scan, look over myself. I'd notice everything, like where my veins look like. Oh, I can see my heartbeat in my stomach, all these different things. Hyper aware, hyper focused, very hypersensitive. I'd catastrophize. I'd feel sorry for myself. Maybe I'd jump on my laptop or something and I would Google some symptoms. I'm doing all this stuff before I even start my day. So now my heart rate's starting to creep up, okay? And we're creeping up into the 90s. And it's if I was fortunate to not have a panic attack. Because don't get me wrong, we're talking about resting heart rate. Whenever I had panic attacks or anxiety attacks, we're talking about heart rates 150, 160, all the way up to 200 beats per minute. Like bam, 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 tons of palpitations, chest pain, numbness, tingling, you name it. Everything that's associated with a panic attack, I would have that. And of course, I had heart anxiety, so I thought I was having heart attacks. But if I didn't have a panic attack in the morning, my heart rate still was jumping up into the 90s just a few minutes after waking up. And then that would creep up throughout the day. And small things that shouldn't really raise your heart rate started to happen to me, okay? Like they raised my heart rate. Getting up off the couch, taking a stroll, just simple walking, eating my food. Now you could say that your heart rate does go up a little bit when you do those things, but when you have anxiety, it goes up even more. So your heart is beating faster even at a resting rate because it's still anticipating something to happen. Maybe it's not to the level of a panic attack where you're actually in fight or flight or survival mode, but it's keeping blood pumping through your body pretty quickly just in case something's gonna pop off. So that's why your heart rate stays up, okay? And it would be anywhere from, again, 90, 95 at rest, all the way to 120, 125. And again, it would be aggravated by things like just eating, getting up off the couch, walking, but sometimes my numbers would be even high depending on my thought process when I was laying in the bed. So understand, if you've seen the doctor, you've gotten checked out, know that this is normal. And I had this, guys, for years. Luckily, I got over my cardiophobia after 2.5 years, but my heart rate was still pretty fast because it's like pretty much the most common symptom with anxiety, other than like just chest pain, breathing troubles, hyperventilation and stuff like that, muscle tension. But I still dealt with like a pretty fast heart rate till my recovery process. So I just had a better acceptance of it, so it didn't scare me as much, luckily. But I dealt with that for years. My heart is fine. It was checked out then, it was fine. It's fine now. I didn't do any damage. And this was a daily process for me. But if you're going through this, you're not alone. But obviously, if you're dealing with this, you have to shut off the motor that's causing the symptoms. Don't just be super symptom focused. I know it's hard, it's difficult, but after you've gotten your reassurance and you're ready to move on with acceptance, you have to shut off the motor that causes it. See, I didn't understand that. I just became so wrapped up in my heart rate, my chest pain, and my numbness and my tingling that I wasn't working on changing my life or anything to make the symptoms go away. But don't just try to work recovery from the outside in. You need to get into a habit of working it from the inside out to shut it off for good. One of the best things that I did for myself to actually make my heart rate start decreasing as my anxiety disorder went on was to actually just stop checking it. Whenever I checked it and I was hyper aware and focused in on it, it would just get faster. There were so many times I would check my heart rate and it'd be in the 90s, and after 20 seconds it'd be like 120. So just understand that checking it all the time, it's not gonna help. You're putting negative focus and fear into it, so therefore the symptom gets worse, just like all of your other symptoms get worse when you put negativity and focus into it. So stop doing that. And also, what you're doing is you're sending the wrong message to your subconscious. When you're constantly checking your vitals, all you're doing is telling your subconscious that you're scared and that there's a problem. Guess what? The subconscious responds to you with more symptoms because it knows that you're scared. See, it's looking to you for guidance. So stop showing your subconscious that you're scared of the heart rate if you want the heart rate to start decreasing. So hopefully that makes sense. That's why I would challenge my symptoms. I would act in the opposite of fear, because anxiety is going to do the opposite of what you want it to do. If you want these symptoms to go away, along with all the other symptoms that you're probably dealing with, please check out my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. I was there right where you're at right now. I dealt with cardiophobia, fast heart rate, numbness, tingling, chest pain, IBS, headaches, muscle tension, aches and pains, insomnia, panic attacks every single day. I suffered through that for 5 years and I was able to overcome it, and I put everything that I have into that course to help you do the same thing, recover, start living the life that you deserve, all right? You need strategy, you need a game plan, you need a routine, right? You have to be patient, you have to be consistent, you need awareness, you need education. I packed all of that into that course for a very affordable price. So check that out. I'm gonna put it down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. People are loving it, people are getting a lot out of it. It's changing lives. I want your life to change as well. So I'm gonna put that down below. My one-on-one coaching calls is also something that I do. I'm gonna put my coaching info down below. I love doing that as well. It's been very fulfilling. I get to work with you on a personal level and we get to actually talk. So that'll be down there as well. A link for online therapy. You can do it on the phone, the laptop, the PC. Try that out if you've never tried therapy. After all, you do need to get a diagnosis so you can start working on your acceptance to move forward. So do that. If you've never tried therapy, do it. Don't knock it till you try it. Also, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Snapchat, my Instagram, all that good stuff is down below. Remember to subscribe if you're new here. Hit the bell so you get updates when I put these videos out. Hit the like button down below again. And if you've watched it this far, guys, I want you to put down below in the comment section in all caps, I will defeat anxiety. I will defeat anxiety. That's a great affirmation. I believe in you. You got to start telling yourself that you will recover for yourself to actually recover, all right? So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. And until next time, keep fighting. I love you all.